Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackHere.com, and today we're going to do a ride review on the TCX RT-Race boots. The TCX RT-Race boots have been in the marketplace for a few seasons now. We do have, I believe, an older review of these boots. What's different now is I took the time to ride in these as well as their RT-Race Pro Air boots at one of the Sportbike Track Time track days that my son Max and I attended a few weeks back to compare the performance of the boots head-to-head and also get a good understanding for each one of them independently, how they perform, how they fit, how they feel, and how much I did or did not like them. In this video, we're going to focus on the RT-Race boot. This retails currently for $329. Please understand that we don't update videos when prices change, only if the product itself has been fully redesigned. Before I go any further, I'm going to say this is one of the best boot values in the industry at this time. We'll even compare this a bit to their high-end $499 RT-Race Pro Air boot, and you'll find a lot of the features, benefits, and the core of the safety from that boot are all found here in this product, and that really brings you a tremendous amount of value at just over $300. This boot's appropriate for somebody that's looking to do sport riding on the street, track days, or realistically, any level of racing. Let's jump into sizing. That's one of the biggest areas we can help you with any one of these gear reviews. These are a 46 Euro. TCX equates that to a 12 US. I wear a size 12 US in most common boots and shoes out there, so that's what I wrote in both these models. I would say they run true to size. Focusing now on width of the boot. I would say the width of this boot is going to be somewhere in the, if I compare it to something, the Alpine Stars area. So I wouldn't label it a wide boot, but it's also not a narrow boot. So it's somewhere right in the middle there, and it works good for riders with wider feet like myself. They will take just a touch break in, right, to get perfect for me, but they also work for riders with average or standard width, no problem, all the way down possibly to riders that have very narrow feet. Another area that we get a lot of questions in is, hey, I have big calves, will these boots accommodate that? With this particular boot, having my race suit on and having the adjustment here at the top, I would say, out to about the end of the usable adjustment, I was able to stick almost my entire hand down inside between the boot and the race suit, which tells me there is a lot of additional area there. My calves are slightly above average. They're not gigantic, but they're also not small. So if you have bigger calves and that's been a problem area for you, this could be a very good option. Something TCX has done further to manage that is they have these rubberized expansion panels that are built into half of the zipper. What this does is when you're zipping up, trying to get up over a larger calf, or if you're thicker in the ankle, it allows that panel to open up a bit and not overstress the zipper. Riders with really big calves over the years have had issues with zipper failure, so a lot of the boot manufacturers have reacted to that and done things like this to help prevent that and allow the boots to work with riders that have bigger calves. Okay, before we jump into the features and benefits of the RT-Race boots, I'd like to share with you my thoughts after having ridden in them. The fit was good right out of the box. They did feel like a new pair of boots, right? On the foot pegs, you could tell it was a new sole. You need to walk around in it a little bit, just get things scuffed up, get things moving around a little bit. So like most other new pair of boots, right? I felt that way at first. As I continued to ride in the boots, that quickly started to fade away. So I do feel like you need to invest a little bit in break-in here, maybe a little more than you would with their higher-end RT-Race Pro Air, but that's to be expected. There needs to be something in the boot that differentiates between the levels. Once you've invested the appropriate amount of time into breaking these boots in, I think you're going to get tremendous comfort and feel and mobility out of them. Every session I went out and rode in them, they started off good, and they just continually got better. The dexterity on the shifter and the brake pedal, that was all fantastic right out of the box. Features and benefits that apply to performance, right? And one of the big things I look for in any type of sport riding boot is going to be an interlacing system, especially for a track boot. This has an interlacing system that goes from side to side. It starts all the way down here, right, and comes all the way up top, so it really allows you to personalize that fit and get your heel back into the heel cup of the boot, which is where you want to keep it, while keeping it very comfortable. It doesn't have any negative impact on the overall dexterity or the feel of the boot. The upper calf adjustment area, like I spoke about earlier, tremendous adjustment up here. You're able to very easily dial that in. The only negative comment I would have here is this thing can sometimes, it kind of gets back in there, you know, and not super easy to get in there. You kind of got to get your fingernail in there. That's just a tiny little takeaway. It's really not a big deal at all. This boot incorporates all that you would need for road racing at any level. Tremendous amount of safety is built into this boot. You can see the exoskeleton they have here to protect the ankle from side to side movement, as well as fore and aft, so you don't exceed the mechanical limits, right, of your ankle. You want to protect that. That's a very vulnerable joint. There is also protection from impact and abrasion. There's padding on the inside of the boot in strategic areas to help protect you during an impact. There are sliders externally on the bike, on the boot, to help promote a slide if you do in fact come off the boot. These sliders will help prevent a tumble. Tumbling hurts. Sliding doesn't hurt anywhere near as bad as tumbling does. These toe sliders are plastic. They are replaceable. Heel slider, plastic, also replaceable. This is an alloy slider on the side of the boot. I'm not sure if it's aluminum or magnesium, but that is an alloy slider. The difference between this and the RT-Race Pro Air boot is these will all be magnesium pieces on the side of the boot, which slide just a little bit easier. On the inside of the boot, you can see here that we have a microfiber panel that has a lot of detail to it. This is to enhance the interaction and grip level between the side of the motorcycle and your foot. Just helps make it a little bit easier to ride the bike. One of the core safety features of any road race boot is going to be the inner sole. We did a cutaway here, and Caleb will probably show you some of that in this video. I cut this open with a hacksaw. I just thought it'd be cool to see what's inside. This is just a single side sample that I had. The inner sole of this or any other boot is one of the key safety elements. You don't want to have a boot that is so flexible or has a very flimsy inner sole, and this is what you'll find with some of the really cheap stuff. They're just not going to have the same level of quality and protection in that area. So you need to make sure you have crush resistance from side to side as well as front to back, while still retaining enough mobility and flex so that you can operate the controls of the motorcycle and walk around in the boot. So what TCX has done here is there's a variable thickness to this inner sole. And you can see how all these layers are bonded together. Clearly the workmanship that goes in here, this takes a lot of man hours to assemble all of these pieces, get all the layers bonded together until we have this finished product, which is the full boot. This is going to be a little thinner in the areas where it needs to flex, right? And kind of clearly see that, and it gets thicker towards the back where there is no need for flex. This is for a combination of protection as well as feel while you're on the motorcycle. Okay, to bring this one home, like I said previously, I do feel that this represents possibly one of the single best values in the road race boot department that we currently offer here at STG. The quality is high, the performance is excellent, tremendous amount of protection built into this. Another point that's notable is these are sewn in Romania. They're assembled in Romania, and they are famous there for producing some high quality motorcycle goods and apparel, right? They have over the years, and we've seen manufacturing move around quite a bit, but there has always been a real staple of quality there in Romania, and I think that's worth noting. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to share your own personal experience with these boots, please leave that in the comments section of this video. I answer all those questions myself and would love to see the interaction and the feedback from people who've already ridden these.